Swarupoham Sarvadarogamevaja Aptakamaswarupoham Ahameva Ahamauvyaya. I am without any support, yet I am the support of all. I have no desires to fulfill. I am the very self, indestructible and changeless. This is from Brahmajnana Valimala by Adi Shankar.
Anything said when we start is said by you. Though Shankaracharya might have said it, or anyone might have said it, but it is said on your behalf. Let's say you have a private secretary and the secretary tells that you can't meet someone. So whatever he or she is saying is not saying what they want to say. Even if these words are being uttered by a person, they are coming from the source and they are only talking about you. So never ever take the words as this of Shankaracharya for Shankaracharya. You will miss the whole point. This is your own reality. You are changeless. You are without support. And you are eternal. One thing which was not said in this is you are bliss. You are that happiness which you are looking for all the time. Whole world is mad about happiness, happiness. And rather than creating happiness for themselves or other, they create misery only. More problems. If you ask anyone, people will think that money brings happiness because then you can buy things. You are that eternal happiness. Only problem is you are not looking within. You are using this ego mind complex to gather all the garbage outside and trying to be happy with that. And you can also say, yes, I feel happy. If you feel happy, then that's fine. That's the way you keep going with that up and down of happiness and sorrow, unending, without even realizing that your other name is that eternal happiness. But first thing first, you have to know that. And to know that, you have to be that. And to be that, you have to leave what you think you are. So it is the change in your mindset. That is the reason why scriptures say about Shravan, Manan and Nididhyasana all the time. Shravan means keep listening, keep listening, keep listening. Manan means to keep reminding yourself about the truth. And Nididhyasana is contemplating on it to make it your own truth. Truth spoken by Shankaracharya is your own truth. But do you feel it right now or not? If you don't feel it right now, you have to make it feel that it is your truth. You have to work on it. And that is what, if you call it practice, you call it efforts, that's what you have to put. How much? Till this becomes your truth. When you read a scripture, scripture speaks about you, not about some jnani. This should be your firm conviction and experiential understanding about your own self. And anyone can be there. Anyone. Only thing is, you have to have faith in it. When we have faith, faith brings grace, and grace brings that unfolding. And the whole process is within you, not outside you. Even this satsang which is happening so-called outside you is happening through you, within you only. It is projection of your own mind which is showing you this right now. Though it might be in this world, but it is coming from the source, and source has grace. And that grace is bringing you it here. So nothing is external. Understand this truth. Majority of people, I would say almost everyone, with few exceptions, live in illusion and die in illusion, and then born in illusion and die in illusion, and illusion continues. There are very few who are interested in reality. Then there are lesser who do some efforts, they put real efforts to know reality. But then there are very few who continue those efforts. You know why? Because this illusory word, how much you have suffering out of it, you still love it. Some people love their suffering. It gives meaning to their life in the suffering. I have seen so many patients, when they get cured, healed, or improve, they think, what else would I do now? This was my life. This was a motive to live. You have taken away the motive. So this life is a disease which is giving motive to all of us. You go on a busy street, everyone is running somewhere, They're all getting late in this illusion. And in this illusory world, to do those acts, what we do, we deceive others. We are not taking it as a play. We are very serious and cunning and greedy. We deceive others. We use so many tricks, which we call it smart moves. We use smart moves. And then we blame God. And then we don't see God. Ego can never see God, never can palpate, can feel, because it is its own enemy. Till we ride on the horse of ego, we will never reach there. We have to get down. We have to leave this. Then, even if you don't want to see, there is nothing except God. It is like flip of the coin. On one side it is ego, the other side is divinity. It's a 180-degree turn. And to find it, you have to look within, not outside. Though it is most easy thing because it is you only, and no external support is needed in the truest sense, but still we don't know it. What a paradox. And the only reason is because of our habit, because of our addiction to this word, good or bad. Do you think you like good stuff? That's completely untrue. You all like bad stuff. That's why all the news is about war and crimes and murders and rapes, because these psychologists knows, newsreader knows, all the news channel knows that it entices us. When there is something, some tragedy, people want to listen to it. When there's a war, how much we say we don't like war, but we would love to listen to those news. That's why no news is good news and all news is bad news. Understand this truth. Don't try to find fault in news and the media and things. They are doing what we love to do. If you love to hear good news, they will produce good news. They love only TRP. They love to sell stuff. See what ego loves. Ego only loves war. We talk about games kids play. Not even kids, even adults play games. Everyone plays games now, computer games or whatever you call them. What is the primary theme? Tell me. A 5-year-old playing the game and a 50-year. It's all about war. 99% are just guns, nothing else. Because that's what we love. If nobody loves those games, then those games will not be there. And still we blame society and others. It is our own projection. All this is our own projection. It is a bitter truth. Early you accept and you're open to it, you will be out of it. Because keeping ego alive and then knowing God, you are fooling yourself. You cannot achieve anything out of it. You know, yoga is so popular nowadays, especially the postural yoga. I'm not talking yoga is very broad term. What do they achieve? A good solid body, and they keep showing that body. There is more attachment to the body after doing yoga. I've seen these yogis, Western yogis. There is more nudity. There is more proud. I can do this posture. Nowadays, they do competitions in yoga. Can you believe? Yoga is to get rid of discrimination and competition, but they do yoga competitions. Ego can distort anything. It can make that high thing to a very low level. Best is to give it up. And then what is left is truth. Ego is in all of us, truth is in all of us. It depends what you feed. You feed ego, the ego becomes a monster. You feed reality, self unfolds in you, and ego becomes like an atom and then disappears. Where you put energy, it becomes. And this is our free will. People talk about free will. This is free will. What is your choice out of these two? But for most of the people, it is back and forth. And so the results are disappointing. The one who is completely ignorant, who is not interested to know the reality, he appears to be much happier than the one who is back and forth. It is like you know that this is the problem, but you are not trying to sort it out. And you have all sorts of excuses. My spouse is a nasty person. My situation is not good. I have financial issues. I have no time. I have a diseased body. Or whatever it could be. All these excuses tell us how much we are attached to this illusion. Otherwise, nothing is coming to you to complain about your life. You only complain about your life. As what? As ego only. The moment we open our mouth, it is the ego which speaks out, not the truth. If you are open and these words can have a deep impact on you, it will just finish your story. And then you become storyless. Then you become vast emptiness, full of bliss, pure intelligence. You become the knowledge, not the relative knowledge of things and beings and situations which we feel proud as science or psychology or whatever you call it. This is transcending mind. And when you come on the other side, you can only laugh on your foolishness. That in this dream, I was taking everything so seriously. Actually, if you see this reality, what you call reality, it tells you on your face that everything is changing. People are born, they are dying, houses are built, they are destroyed, demolished, new buildings come. Everything is changing. This body which has been given is changing. It is born to die. All what you have accumulated, you might be a billionaire or trillionaire. You can't take even a single penny. Why you are collecting all this? How long can you use all these things? And understand who is using it. Are you using it or your body and your sense organs? This body is not you. These sense organs are not you. This mind with thoughts is not you. And the one who owns this mind-body complex is not you. But in this illusion, you're doing everything for this disappearing body, even going to jail for it, even killing people, even for that few seconds of whatever sensory pleasure, you can rape someone. I can't believe, how you will be ashamed when you know who you are and for whom you are serving. You're serving this mind, body, filthy body, full of filth, worms. You are the pure in it. The moment you go away, the body starts decaying. Be with that what you are. Acknowledge your own identity. Don't give away your purest of identity to this body. And everyone celebrates their birthday. This is again a very big source of hypnotism. I am my 25th, 50th, 75th. My birthday, my body. These identifications become strong with each birthday. Know that there is two layers. One layer is you and the other layer is illusion. Recede. You are the source. You are still right now, even in illusion, you are the source. Even in this addiction, you are the source. What I am saying to you is your own inner call. Have some faith in these words. I'm not asking you to give me any money, or I'm not that free to give this knowledge like I'm free whole day and I have to sit and I have to do something, so I have found this work. I'm as busy as you. But there is some power, something is there, which is allowing these words to come to some people who are interested. And perhaps they might not be in today's satsang, but they might be somewhere when it goes on YouTube or Spotify, they might hear and it might help them. Who knows? I have no clue about it. But I'm telling you about reality, what reality is and what illusion is. And it is your choice. I'm no one to force you to know reality, but I'm just telling you. Because this is the time to know reality when you are in this body. After you leave this body, you have to have a human birth of some intelligence to understand this truth. You don't need to be super intelligent to understand this truth. Actually, acceptance of the truth comes in simple-minded people. People who have humbleness. People who have ego like a thin air can easily transform. And people with thick ego, like a fetus in a womb, which has to be delivered and takes time. But it is possible for all of us. Contemplate on this truth and find your true eternal happiness right now. Not in things, not in beings, not in situations, not in your thoughts. What is imperceivable, impalpable right now will manifest in you if you start listening to it. Its language is silence. It speaks in silence. And it speaks to you who is lost in ego. And that silence is asking you to come back home. You had enough of all this drama. I know most of you are fed up of this drama and you want to get out. And then there are so many who are still loving it. But that's okay. But at least if you know and you're fed up and you know there is a way out, then I would say just be with this. First principle to be free is to keep your life simple. Don't make it too complex. As simple as you can make it, as much as in your hands. And then try to keep quiet. Don't give your opinion to anyone unless someone is asking you with folded hands. Don't give any opinion to anyone, good or bad. But if you are attached to people like your family and you think they are not doing the right thing, then just politely give your opinion. This is what I think it should be done. Because every ego thinks they know everything. You can't teach anyone anything, so better to keep quiet. And this will help in your own sadhana, in your own practice, because you will have ample of time to be with that eternal truth within your heart, which wants your attention. So rather than giving your attention to people around you, give your attention to it. The more you give attention to it, the more it unfolds in you. This divine silence will make you believe in your own existence in a very different way. Nothing can explain it. It is like a magic. It is like a drug. I have never had tasted any drug, but probably people who have, they tell that they feel really good. So this feel good will stay all the time with you. Some call it bliss. Maybe these drugs, I don't know, they work on the same regions in the brain where it shuts that ego sense in us. Because there is an ego circuit in the brain. But the problem is that this is transient and causing a lot of side effects and addiction. And the ego still survives. But here, ego will finish. No side effects. And the third principle is practice it as soon as you get up till you go to bed. If you practice it for 1 minute, it will stay with 1 minute for you. But if you practice at least in this waking state, it will percolate in your dream and deep sleep eventually. Because it is the truth, it does not come and go, it is always there. You don't know because you're always in the mind. You're always in thoughts. More you pay attention to the truth, number of thoughts, compelling thoughts, intrusive thoughts, and too much of attention on thoughts, this all will dwindle, and slowly there will be nothing. As if there is no brain functioning. As if there is no mind. As if there is no agenda, internal or external. But this comes as a surprise because still activity is happening. If it has to happen, even without your intention, things happens. No one to blame, no one to give credit. But main thing is peace prevails all the time. For ego, the situation can be bad or good. But for self, it is always bliss. Unchanging. Independent of any external thing to be happy or blissful. Bliss flowing from within. Independent of any dependency on anything. So much of time people waste in networking, and this person can help me and this can help me, and calling this person, and understand how badly we are trapped in ego in so many ways. The moment you start becoming a witness to all this, it loses its grip on you. Then things happen or not happen, you are least bothered. Recently we did a satsang on Bhagavan's Aradhana day. And one of the persons brought 3 doctors, couple of GPs came on that day. And they were introducing me, oh, I am a GP and I'll send you patients, and I know your name, and give me your details and I'll send you a lot of patients. And who will send whom? Who is the one who is saying, I will send, I will do for you? And who is going to receive? What is this transaction in this life? We all speak like this, isn't it? But I never expect anyone in satsang to speak like this, at least but they were just visitors. They came to meet someone because that person was coming to satsang, they came along. I don't want anyone like this to ever come back again. We don't want to grow it into millions of people. Few are enough who understand the truth, but to speak from truth rather than doing business in satsang. No need. No need to please anyone. Please this self. Stay with yourself. Then you don't have to choose words to speak truth or to please anyone. When you please yourself, you are pleasing whole humanity, because everyone has that same self. When you stay in self, you stay in everyone's heart. Everyone's heart, not just human beings. All plants, all animals, all birds. You become one with everything. If you want unity in the world, then know the self. And when you want to love people, be in self, because you, self is love. Everyone is the same self. How can you now discriminate? People talk about violence and people talk about so many different things. Just know yourself. Even on this path, as you come closer to that, as the unfoldment happens, your personality just drops. And you know the truth of everything what a human being does on this earth. You become the best psychologist, best philosopher, best spiritual guide. And you don't have to read any book. And you don't have to be a parrot of anyone else's messages from the past. You know the truth in your own self. And then you use scriptures only to say, look, as a reference point, that it was already being said. When Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi got self-realization, people brought scriptures to him. And looking through that, he was just explaining the meaning of things to people. And he realized that what he is experiencing or experienced is all written. This is what the truth is. Because you are not the first person to know the truth. Millions of people have experienced and still experiencing every day. Though it appears a few number, but understand, not many people are interested. Truth is very simple. Self is so simple. Ego is very complex. It is like you give that pure energy goes and then goes through this gadget called mind. And on the other side, it becomes completely madhouse, so complex. So you give up this gadget, and then what is left is pure, undifferentiated awareness, bliss. It is always unadulterated. You don't have to do anything except remove this ego. Move it aside, that's all. You start your day, you meet people, you go somewhere, stay in your heart, be the witness to things. And if you want to support anything, then support everything. Support yourself and support your opponent. Or just be a witness. Because what is self? Self is in you, self is in the other person. And self is only one, they are not two. So staying impartial, neutral in your approach with your colleagues, with your subordinates, with your boss, with your own self. Understand what was said just before we started satsang. It is surviving on its own support. It's not surviving on networking or on ego or on mind or on thoughts. Because thoughts keep changing all the time. How can you take a support from thoughts? People keep changing. Someone can say, yes, I'll support you. And tomorrow he will say, no, I don't want to support you. What would you do? It is self-supported. It is not arrogance. It is. Self is self-supported. ego depends on self. Self is independent. Self is before ego. It is that undifferentiated which is giving energy to your ego. Ego is the one who has taken pride in this mind body, acting as a separate unit. This is the first and last sin. There is absolute. Absolute has projected into this mind body and somehow got into illusion. Don't ask me why or how, but the way is to come back is to know the truth and be with truth. Once you get a gist of it and it starts unfolding in you and the bliss coming with it, then efforts become effortless. Then it is just a process which just continues and keeping you deeper and deeper in your own silence. Then this waking state looks like a dream, and that too like a lucid dream in which everything is coming and going and you are unaffected. Tell me what people are bothered about in this world. Or even if you take yourself, your bodily needs, your emotional needs, your situational issues, your life story, your future. What is all this? Mind, body, nothing else. And you are not the mind, you are not the body. You're not even owner of it. The moment you know this truth that you are none of this and you're not the owner of it, then this all story just dissolves. It disappears. Even if it stays when you know it is not you, how does it matter? And you enter your deep bliss, which is always there. It is as if there was a play going on. You were part of this play for so long that you lost your real identity in this play. And because someone said, look, you are not this actor, this name in this play, you are this. And you didn't believe. But then you paid attention to what you are. And this play, whether continues or not, who cares? We all wanted a role in which we are right now. So if this role continues, but you know your real identity, then role is already finished for you. You don't have to convince anyone. You have to be convinced about it. It's only our own conviction which is important. You know, when you meet people, you talk about things or beings or situations. Because everyone is looking outside, projecting outward. No one talks about the source. No one. We don't go to a gathering where people ask, do you know reality or are you still in illusion? I have never been to any gathering in which people talk like this. How far are you from knowing the truth? Nobody questions it. It would be so nice that wherever you go, the atmosphere is so conducive for this self to unfold. And everyone is asking and compassionate about their own unfolding and your unfolding. That's why in ancient days there used to be ashram settings. They were enlightened beings who got enlightened, who are almost close to it, and then some novices who are joining. So their energy level used to go up in that so much of high energy field. They are still there, A lot of ashrams, monasteries are still there. And I think they do their own purpose. But we householders also need some type of monastery, I believe, or ashram if we are interested. And that is our satsang, where we can meet, contemplate. Most of the people who join the group, when we ask them why you want to join, the answer is we want to join like-minded people. It's a very good answer, Or the people who are lesser minded or no minded, on the path of no mindedness.
Hi Sanjay.
Hello.
I would like. I have been looking for japa mantra, meditation, yoga because these are some ways that you can enhance yourself. And I would like to, if with your permission, share a small prayer with the group, if that is okay.
Okay, yeah.
So this is from the Rig Veda, and I found this, and forgive my pronunciation, but it goes like Om Ayam me Hasto Bhagavana, Ayam Bhagavatra, Ayam me Vishnu Vishajyo, Ayam Shiva Abhimarsana. So what this means that I've discovered this small prayer mantra is my this hand is the God, my this hand is higher than God, my this hand holds, my hand is the one that touches Shiva.
This prayer used to be my favorite prayer when I started taking yoga classes.
Yes.
And you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. And this is a very deep, meaningful. I used to do this prayer. Good, you reminded me. I haven't done it for many years. But this was the prayer. So this body and this touch helps anyone who comes in touch with it. And it's a beautiful prayer. Thank you for sharing, Bharat.
Thank you.
Silence is the only thing which will take us beyond all this illusion. Transcend mind. Your mind can say it is so boring. What silence? I want party, I want people, I want to talk. But I would say just wait. Touch silence and then talk. Touch silence and then do party. Touch silence and then do indulgence. See if you still want to do what you wanted to do before. But get possessed by this silence. Get possessed. I'm not sure how much I explain you, but I'm still very short of what I want to say because I don't know. Silence is the right word, but it's this whole process happens in silence. And because when thoughts disappear, then what is left, I believe, I call it silence. And then so many times you don't want to argue or say or talk, so I think it looks like silence. And the body doesn't want to move much. Maybe it's stillness, silence. Be with that. I believe all practices helps. As Bharat was saying about this mantra, there are so many mantras, so many prayers, so many japas. I believe whatever is close to your heart, whatever you believe in, it will help you. And whatever you do with the intention to dissolve your ego. Pray to that mantra, to that whatever you do, that please finish me, merge me, make me one with the Absolute. So then I can say all is one. And none of us knows how long we are in this body. And life is beautiful once you give up what is not you. Giving up this mask of personality. And then what reality is. How can you increase this reality within you? Just by paying attention to it. By showing your interest in it. When our interest in worldly things is less and more here, it starts manifesting in us. Even some people who are realized beings but quite active, their energy is always here, and then maybe it is destiny or whatever, activities are still happening. But they are 100% abidance in self. You can't do 99% here, 1% somewhere else. It is an absolute. Absolute needs absolute attention. That is the only thing it requires from us. You know, people say about desirelessness. I would say it is desirefulness of only absolute. 100% desirefulness of absolute. That's what it requires. Because what we get by knowing the truth, it makes us just laugh what we will after these things in this world. Thank you everyone to come and attend and being there. We are all one, and I really love all of you. It is so beautiful to see so many people who are for it, into it, so that Shiva manifests in all of us. Be with that. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachala Ramanaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone.